Climate change is a very controversial and political topic, but it shouldn't be. The globe and its inhabitants are all at risk, and we need to understand and comprehend the situation. And to quote Greta Thunberg, call it what it is, an emergency. I am extremely passionate about the current ecological crisis we are in, and a while back found out individuals can get a degree in environmental studies. I thought that was super cool and was heavily considering making it my minor. Because I was interested and excited, I decided to tell my dad over dinner. After I was met with an eyebrow raise and a face of confusion and disgust, he told me, climate change isn't real, right? My heart dropped, and I couldn't wrap my brain around how and why people strongly believe climate change is a hoax. People who argue that climate change is normal frequently use the Pleistocene epoch, or Ice Age, as an example, claiming that it has happened before and therefore is natural and okay. However, through the Pleistocene epoch, ice sheets covered all of Antarctica, large parts of Europe, North America, South America, Greenland, and small areas of Asia. Remaining glaciers can be seen today in Greenland and Antarctica. But due to the brighter surface, more sunlight was reflected, so there was less heating. The atmosphere was also different and had a lack of greenhouse gases that we now emit at alarming rates. So this time around, we are the ones doing the damage, not the Earth. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change has found that emissions from fossil fuels are the dominant cause of global warming. And in 2018, 89% of global CO2 emissions came from fossil fuels and industry. These greenhouse gases play a critical role in today's man-made climate disaster. Greenhouse gases are defined by the Merriam-Webster Dictionary as any of various gaseous compounds such as carbon dioxide or methane that absorb infrared radiation, trap heat in the atmosphere, and contribute to the greenhouse effect. Carbon dioxide is the most dangerous and prevalent greenhouse gas and is at detrimental highs. The burning of fossil fuels and emitting these gases and black soot into the atmosphere causes the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect is when gases absorb solar energy and keep heat close to the Earth's surface rather than letting it escape into space. These gases don't just evaporate, they linger in the atmosphere for years and continue to build up heat. COVID-19 has visibly helped climate change in the fossil fuel emission rate. With the lockdown of nations around the globe, CO2 levels have plummeted significantly due to the lack of travel, businesses being suspended, and etc. It is extremely unfortunate that lowering emissions has been spurred by a pandemic that has crossed oceans, killing tens of thousands of people, putting the world's economies to the brink of collapse, and straining healthcare systems beyond their capabilities. However, Inger Anderson, Executive Director of the United Nations Environment Program, says visible positive impacts are but temporary because they come on the back of tragic economic slowdown and human distress. And there's going to be a huge peak in carbon dioxide once we're out of quarantine and lockdown because no one's going to want to take public transportation and save energy that way. So a lot more cars are going to be on the road, and businesses obviously will be back and putting same pollution into the air. Anyways, the pictures on the left are of the famous Venice canals in Italy, and you can see how clear and bright the canals look and how you can even see fish swimming around in them. And usually you can't see the bottom of this canal, so it is quite a big deal. And then over here to the right with the arch this is in New Delhi, India, and India has the worst air pollution in the entire world. And it's a massive safety hazard, and people die due to pollution in India. And now you can see the sky and the color of this beautiful arch, and air quality is improving. And I even saw somewhere that they could see the Himalayas. Like, that was a thing they couldn't do before, and it's crazy. And then down here is kind of like a pollution map of Wuhan, China. And on the top, it is January to February of 2019, and the pollution levels. And then at the bottom is January through February of 2020. And there's a massive difference. The warming will have a detrimental effect on oceans, glaciers, and sea ice, with the oceans responding to the Earth's warmth. It is causing the Arctic regions to melt. Researchers have discovered The pace of glacier loss has accelerated from negative 228 millimeters, or 9 inches per year in the 1980s, to negative 443 millimeters, 17 inches per year in the 1990s, to negative 676 millimeters, 2.2 feet per year in the 2000s, to negative 921 millimeters, 3 feet per year for 2010 through 2018. Along with that, it is estimated that 1/3 of the remaining glaciers will be gone, and that 95% of the thickest sea ice is already dissolved. Due to the melting rates, sea levels will rise. Scientists have noticed the recent rate of global sea level rise has departed from the average rate of the past 2,000 to 3,000 years and is rising more rapidly, about 1/10 of an inch a year. This will vigorously affect coastal dwellers with flooding, coastal erosion, and in the worst case scenario, sinking. The melting also intensely affects wildlife. For example, sea ice is incredibly important to polar bear survival. Polar bears are losing a considerable amount of weight because they have to walk or swim for miles to get to the closest patch of ice and have a difficult time catching seals due to a lack of energy. Fewer cubs are surviving, and the ones who do are extremely small. As a result of this, the polar bear population is now typed as vulnerable. Pandas are also at risk because climate change is causing a major wipeout of bamboo. Elephants need to drink around 50 gallons of water per day, but with droughts, that isn't possible. Green sea turtles are affected because the temperature of sand decides what gender the baby turtles will be when they hatch. And with warm sands, this creates more females, and this could cause a major population issue. CO2 emissions also make the ocean more acidic, and that affects a plethora of marine species and ecosystems. Coral reefs are highly sensitive to small changes in ocean temperature. The heat stresses the algae that nourished the coral and provide their vibrant color. The algae then leaves and the coral eventually starves. Now I'm going to show a heartbreaking clip of what climate change is doing to Arctic species.
There's one right on the edge.
There's probably 200 or 300 dead walrus on like a half-mile stretch of beach here. They're exhausted because they're having to swim 100 miles now to get to food, and then coming back here because it's the only place to sleep. They used to sleep on the ice, dive down, eat food, sleep on the ice, easy. And now they're swimming 100 miles, coming to this place, climbing cliffs, and they're just exhausted and falling down and either being killed falling or just crushing each other because there's several thousand crammed onto little tiny bits of beaches.
This is the sad reality of climate change.
Climate change can present itself in ways other than warming. The rate of tropical storms, drought, and wildfires will be more frequent and violent. Additionally, it is apparent that the amount of heavy rainfall is likely to increase as a warmer atmosphere can hold more water. In tropical locations, this could cause a lethal amount of heat and humidity, as well as producing more flooding and adding to the rising sea level. However, some regions are experiencing the opposite and have a reduction of rainfall leading to droughts. We need solutions. The rate of today's climate change is 20 to 50 times faster than anything in the Earth's climate history. With just a 1.5 Celsius increase in temperature, the Earth would be past the point of no return and have to face the consequences of our idleness. Now you may be thinking, what can I do? I can't single-handedly stop the burning of fossil fuels. While that is true, you can do your part and help fight global warming in a multitude of ways. Starting with recycling. Recycling can actually prevent 2,400 pounds of carbon dioxide from getting stuck in the atmosphere. You can also use public transportation, electric cars, carpooling, walking or biking, turning off lights when you're not in a room, using cold water to wash clothes, limiting single-use plastic, and using energy-efficient appliances. Planting trees is also an important step in removing carbon dioxide from the air. Another big step you can make is writing or calling congressmen and state officials. You can deny all the scientific evidence, but why would you refuse to take action and help make the world we live on healthier and an overall better environment for everything and everyone on it? Thank you.